Hello, everybody. This is the Kahuna,
And Eliza Austin.
and you're listening to the Outer Haven Report, Volume 5.
Welcome, everyone. Today we're going to talk about one of our favorite Christmas movies.
Yeah, you cannot have Christmas at all without a few key things. Christmas tree, family get-togethers.
Christmas cookies, Christmas lights. Santa Claus. Tinsel. Wrapping paper. Cookies. Glitter. Gifts.
You said cookies twice.
What? Sprinkles. Yes. Right? Yes?
Yes, but you're forgetting the most important thing.
Gift cards.
It doesn't say Christmas like, here's a Walmart gift card.
Cocoa. By the fire.
Well,
Christmas carols.
all these things are very important, but you're missing the most important part of Christmas.
Church.
Gremlins.
Oh, right. Right up there with church. Gremlins.
Yes, because we pray to the Holy Saint Gizmo.
Yes.
Yes, everybody. Today we were talking about my personal all-time favorite Christmas movie. I don't watch, It's a Wonderful Life or any of these Hallmark movies, to get into the Christmas spirit. I watch...
You'll shoot your eye out.
I'm not even getting into that Christmas story.
But
Watch...
it's so good.
Yeah, maybe the first 100 times, but if anybody lives in Ohio, you know how it usually goes. You have to watch that movie probably at least a dozen times before you turn 6.
Yep.
It's
And
like
you enjoy them every time.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Alright, let's get into it.
So, we're talking about Gremlins, the best series ever made, which came out back in 1984. My lord, it's been that long.
Yep.
1984, which, being a Christmas movie, it was actually released in June of 84. And features one of the most beloved characters of all time. Long before we had, Lilo and Stitch, and, the little Stitch character being so cute, and some of these other little furry, cuddly things like, like the critters. And no, we had Gizmo, our favorite Mogwai, who had the 3 rules, which you would think would be very simple. Don't get it wet. Don't feed him after midnight. And he doesn't like bright lights.
Bright lights. Alright, let's get into it. I'm going to read you the synopsis. We'll go from there. So, if you're out there and you're living under a rock and you don't know what happens
in Wyoming,
Gremlins,
we have the pictures. We know where you live in that rock.
So, the Gremlins, it's a gadget salesman is looking for a special gift for his son and finds one at a store in Chinatown. The shopkeeper is reluctant to sell him the Mogwai, but sells him to him with a warning to never expose him to bright light, water, or feed him after midnight.
Whoa. Okay, that is not correct, because the old man never sold him the Mogwai. The little kid snuck it out of the house and gave him $200 for it.
No.
No, the little kid, he said the Mogwai was not for sale. And the little kid who brought him into the store said, we need the money here, wait here.
Well, yeah, but they don't, that's not how they give the synopsis of it.
Well, the synopsis is wrong. That's a major
Anyway,
Internet Movie Database.
All of a sudden, all of this happens, and the result is a gang of gremlins that decide to tear up the town on Christmas Eve. So the release date for this movie was June 8th of 1984.
Great time for a Christmas movie.
Why they didn't do a Christmas. Director was Joe Dante. They had a featured song, The Gremlin Rag.
Yes.
And
that awesome song.
It had a whole plethora of big names.
Yeah, this...
Zack Galligan, Phoebe Cates, Corey Feldman, Howie Mandel.
Who was the voice of Gizmo.
Yep.
So every time you look at Howie Mandel, maybe now you can say, bright light, coming off his head.
Yeah, isn't that funny? So, all right, so let's talk about it. We reviewed this time, we watched 1 and 2.
Absolutely, which...
so we'll go through that. Before we get into it, let's talk about, I'll give you the little synopsis for 2. So then we can just roll
now,
on through.
Now, the second movie, anybody watched the first movie, you guys know that this movie was a very, very strong in special effects. He had drinking and smoking, and there was even a gremlin with a pistol and a stocking cap trying to rob the bar. Which,
all right, but we'll talk about that.
The second movie, which we're going to go into here, was a much lighter film.
Yep.
Another reviewer that we saw today compared it to a live-action cartoon. So the second movie...
This movie took place in June 15th, 1990, and the magical collectible store that Gizmo calls home has been destroyed, and the tiny monster finds his way into a newly erected skyscraper. Billy Peltzer, which is Zack Galligan, and his bride-to-be Kate, so they're now engaged in this, who have previously dealt with Gremlins run amok, discover that Gizmo and an impish legend of reptilian pals are inhibiting the downtown buildings. That impish legion of reptilian pals is Gremlins. The couple tries to stop the creatures from escaping into New York City, but this new batch of beasts may be uncontrollable. So, same director. We have Joe Dante,
who had the reins taken off him this time.
Yep. So you're gonna see a lot more gore, a lot more jokes. I've heard it called one of the best comedies of all time.
Yeah, which I had to agree there.
Definitely worth revisiting.
We'll get into the details on that second movie here just in a little bit. First, let's go back to the first film, Gremlins, which started all of this. Now, Gremlins, Joe Dante was the amazing director with this, and this is actually, I believe, his first film that he did. Mm-hmm. And it was actually produced by none other than Steven Spielberg himself.
That's right.
And this was definitely no E.T. film.
Actually, we learned a very interesting fact today that we probably should fact check, but we heard that this was supposed to be E.T. 2.
Yeah,
but
the sequel.
They wanted it to be creepier than E.T., but they just couldn't do it. They did not want to.
Yeah, they were going to have it be where some of E.T.'s buddies, find a way to Earth, and these, unlike the Skittle-loving alien that we all know and love, is replaced by a bunch of hooligans who want to cause trouble.
However, he did make an appearance. He was a stuffed animal in the first movie and the second.
Yep,
so
he was stuck in little figure in the end of the film, which they had set in a department store, which looked a lot like Kmart.
Yep. Yeah, he was in that toy store, and the first one, I believe he was in amongst items. Like
yeah, he was in the in one of the gift shops. Yeah. Yep. Now, the Gremlins movie. Oh man, you can't have Christmas in my mind without Gremlins. Everything is set, is like a Christmas. The day before Christmas Eve, I think was the first day was set on. So it'd been like December 23rd. And it starts out with your traveling inventor. Trying to find something for his kid. So you think this kid's probably like 5, 6, maybe 10.
But he's not that kind of traveling inventor that does a good job. He's the kind of traveling inventor that invents something that works for like about a week, and then it totally goes haywire. Like the kid made orange juice with the special orange-o-matic, and it covered the entire kitchen. And that was pretty funny.
Yeah, definitely the machinery this guy made for some really good situational humor. Had a smokeless ashtray that caught on fire and some good stuff. But, they have him, where he's in Chinatown and he goes into this tiny little shop that, it was literally in the basement of a place that you probably never ever find. And this guy goes in and he starts hearing this little singing song that, I'm sorry, if I hear something humming in a shop and this is not a bird, I'm staying away from this creature because clearly there's something very wrong in this picture.
Yep.
If somebody had a singing chihuahua, would you want to take it home with you? No, you're going to run in fear because that thing's probably going to start yapping, going to kill Taco Bell or something.
Big Kahuna was seen earlier today putting up the Christmas tree, much against his actual plan for the day, but he was humming this song while he was putting up the Christmas tree.
I was singing the Gremlins song.
And he does sometimes, and I didn't realize what it was.
Yeah, I watched this movie probably against to my mom's horror very, very early in life, and I've loved it ever since. The first movie, people are like, oh, you can't have a horror movie during Christmas. And like, okay, these Gremlins have more Christmas spirit than a lot of people that I know. There's actually a scene where they have, once again, I'm going to say it right now, very heavy on the spoilers. I'm putting in the warning for this right now. Okay.
Oh, it's from the 80s. I mean, if they haven't seen it by now, come on.
Hey, you still have to do it. Someone's going to say, hey, I haven't seen that movie yet. Get Netflix. It's right on there. You enjoy it. Believe us.
Yeah, but they only have the first one.
Yeah, what the heck, Netflix? Once again, you're taking away my joy.
However,
where's your Christmas spirit?
Netflix has all the Jaws movies, so 2 thumbs up, Netflix.
So, yes, Jaws is awesome. Yeah, that's going to be another video. But, in this movie, we have caroling gremlins.
Yep.
Which they were caroling so that Stripe, their leader, who is the anti-Gizmo, could crawl into the cat door and take out poor Mrs. Deagleman, which...
what do you mean, poor Mrs. Deagleman? She was so mean.
Yeah, she kind of reminded me of a certain real estate person we know around here.
Okay.
But,
let's not go there.
No, Stripe, who had quite a bit of intelligence, actually. He was he was the leader of this batch of gremlins, was going, Deagleman. So even he knew how messed up this person was.
Yep.
And was just saying that her lift chair got a little bit of a modification and got more power.
It was great. That was one of my favorite parts of this movie, as she flew out the window with her feet up in the air.
And the gremlins watching the caroling gremlins that got yelled at just a few minutes before are watching and start cheering, happily. And then, you can always see the chair and it's like it's flipped over and see her legs there, and the cops are looking like, okay, we're going home now. So, yep. Gremlins, great movie. Now, there's a lot of messed up stuff in here. Like, if you have a weak stomach, I would highly suggest watching this with a strong dose of Tums. Let's see. Let's count the deaths that we saw in there. We had a gremlin got put in the microwave.
Yeah.
One got stabbed with a sword, or at least a good-sized knife.
Yeah.
One was definitely whacked with a sword.
One got chopped up.
We had one that was, a couple of them were shot.
Yeah.
By each other.
They were smushing.
One got put onto a fan.
Yeah.
Spin around in the fan. Some were taken out.
They like to cause pain to each other.
Yeah, they were sadists.
Yeah, there was one in a blender.
Yeah, the blend. Oh my god, the blender. That was
green goo
bad.
everywhere. And the noises. There's the sound effects in this is great.
Yeah, Gaff team on this. My hat's out to you guys. I swear, the Gaff, wow. Whoever came up with this stuff, and the Gremlins, the designs themselves were really awesome. Like, I personally want to get the Flasher Gremlin, which, a Gremlin doesn't have, he's just like a little, it's basically like a little frog. They don't have anything to show off, but you have a Gremlin running around with the old, the black sunglasses, like the Terminator glasses, and has a trench coat. He loves running around and just doing the flash maneuver, and I want to get that guy for my collection. He's so hilarious looking. And he gets kicked in the sequel. When the first one, he just does that, and oh god, those are just memories you can't replace.
No, I agree.
So the movie was absolutely great, and it we had some driving scenes even with which I'm gonna probably put some of the video in here. This gremlin, they're driving this old snowplow through town, and I'm trying to remember his name. Dick Miller. Dick Miller, great comedian. They have him in both movies, actually. The poor guy went through absolute hell in this movie. But he's talking. He's the one who really brought the tied in Gremlins to the old legend, saying, "Oh, you got to watch out for those Gremlins again, the machinery and messing everything up." And I believe that anything from Japan or overseas actually automatically had these included as part of the purchase price.
Well, the other thing that I just remembered that was interesting about this is in the first movie we see a lot of Gizmo carried around in the book bag, and
yes, absolutely.
in the second movie you see Gizmo in the beginning, and then you don't really see Gizmo. The plan was for Gizmo to become, what's the guy's name, Spike?
In the first movie, you had Stripe.
Stripe,
who is very easily, you can tell him apart from the other Gremlins because he has the big, I call it the mohawk, but this is white stripe of hair. He's the only one really has hair other than the cross-dressing Gremlins. He was actually supposed to be Gizmo, and Gizmo was supposed to be evil. And almost, 2/3 into this first movie, they had Gizmo, just in the bag because they were not going to have Gizmo be an actual Mogwai anymore. He was going to be one of the Mogwai that ate after midnight, go through the most disgusting metamorphosis you've ever seen in your life. Looks like a teenager's bedroom. And all of a sudden, turn into this really evil, conniving, villain. And they end up changing that because they thought, oh, he's just so cute. We can't have him turn evil. And
they're afraid he was going to scare children.
Yeah, they want kids to think like these your cute little puppies are going to turn into some evil werewolf and eat you in the middle of the night because they watch Gremlins. Which, who the heck lets a little kid watch Gremlins? Shame on you.
So, you can't cover, there's so many, this movie ends. Are we okay to far enough?
Yeah, there's not a whole lot more we can talk about this. Now we're talking about the Flasher and the mobs, the mob Gremlin, and
this ends with the antagonist creature following Billy Peltzer, which is the main character here.
Yeah, played by Zack Galligan.
Throwing saw blades and
firing
a nun.
He fired a nun. We're firing mystery people.
Scary. No, he fired a gun. He had a chainsaw. He was out. He really wanted to chop him up really bad.
Yeah, he had no love for Billy. Probably because Billy kind of... the movies. We gotta talk about the movie theater.
Oh, yeah.
That was great. All in a theater. They terrorized this entire town. Which was, thanks to the YMCA having a 24-hour pool, Stripe was able to make an army of Gremlins to take over this little Springfield town. And they all, just after they get done destroying town, they decided to go out to the movie theater, which is a nice dark place. And they're watching Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs singing along to Hi-Ho. Which, oh my God. Even
Gizmo was humming it. It was great.
Yeah, the intelligence it has for these creatures. So I think, I don't think Gremlins are bad. I just think they're misunderstood.
Really? I'll let you hang out with them. I'm sure they won't chop you up.
That would be awesome until they destroy everything and decide it's fun and wipe me with a hammer or something.
Yeah. They hurt each other for fun and they laugh hysterically.
Yeah.
Right, so we've covered movie 1. So movie 2, they're back, and I believe it takes place. They were destroyed in the first one, and the second one, Gizmo gets out, and now they're in what would be a spoof of Trump Towers.
Yeah, it's called Clamp Tower. You can't tell me they were spoofing on Trump.
Well, they said it was a cross between Trump and who was the other? Turner. So, you can really see it. You can see a lot of the...
In this movie, they had this supposed to be the most high-tech building ever, which anything that's high-tech in the movie usually means it's very fancy, very broken. And it actually even had a feature with Robert Picardo, who I don't think the man's aged. I think as he gets older, his hair disappears. And he has some type of eternal life because he doesn't actually wrinkle or anything after all these years. But he played the head security at the location. And they had also another cameo was Grandpa from the Munsters, who was basically playing himself as an actor playing a vampire. What was his name? I cannot remember.
It's Grandpa Fred, but it's Robert Prosky.
Yeah, Grandpa. Yeah, Fred. Is part of his.
I can't
his
remember
spoof
his
show.
monster name.
Well, he was Grandpa.
Yeah.
And he played such an excellent role in this movie. And in this film, the gloves, as we said earlier, were really taken off for the director, and he ran with it. He had a huge, huge budget, which I think they probably had close to 1,000 individual gremlin designs, really, when it comes down to it, everybody doing everything. And we had spider gremlins, we had the fruit one that had tomatoes stuff growing off, and there's actually a deleted scene where the cook, who was definitely a spoof on Martha Stewart, and also, who was that old chef that...
Julia Child!
Yeah, Julia Child and Martha Stewart. They had a love child. This has been just cooking here. And had where she makes a martini for herself. She pulls an olive off the gremlin's head and puts it in her drink and completely passes out. And the gremlins, of course, laugh at her. The gremlins are laughing at everything. And
they're hanging from the rafters. They're running amok. They're microwaving themselves. They're riding the elevator. They're in the bathroom causing a giant disaster. And
one of the best scenes, actually, which was a very short one, was they're in a laboratory, the Splice of Life. And as, you can imagine, this place is only put in there so we have 1,000 different gremlin designs. They were messing around in this lab, because the guys at the lab thought these gremlins were great. Lord knows why. Starting to use science. And the gremlin grabs acid off of the open shelf that says, "Acid, do not throw in face." And the gremlin takes it, shows the camera, like, "Hey, look at this acid here," and throws it in the face of the gremlin next to him. And the gremlin goes, like, "Ah!"
And he's like, "Ah!"
And then stops completely, and then making noise, picks up a Phantom of the Opera mask on a stick and puts it on his face, and then starts going, "Ah!" and runs off. That was a great scene.
Later, he plays the piano.
Yeah,
he plays an organ.
He plays out the entire scene from Family Opera, including the unmasking, then the whole acting scene turn around. I mean, this is like every kid's dream movie.
That's fine.
If you had a really, really messed up mind. I mean, they knocked on the first movie, even they were mocking the roles. They were mocking, we'll say, if you film after midnight, can it be midnight? What happens if you film at 12:01 or 12:02? Would it still be okay then? Or
I remember seeing this movie as a kid, and I remember, I think two more than one. He sang, Stripe sang the New York song.
Actually, it wasn't Stripe. It was one of the...
I thought it was Stripe.
No, Stripe didn't sing. It was a different one. He was actually just a random gremlin that got himself some brain hormone, which I think we might even have him.
We have Stripe.
Well, Frank Welker, of all people. Oh, my Lord.
If you see him, he looks like him.
Frank Welker was the one who did Stripe's voice. Was, you had to have Stripe in these movies.
No, the other guy, anyway, he sings the New York song. Wasn't
it Harry Gibson?
I'm not sure, honestly. Could be Tony Randall. But Tony Randall was in this, and I think we're at a special location tonight. When we have some guests, they're silently observing us.
We are at a remote location.
But this would be, let's see, this would be Eliza Austin's parents. So we have the Lafayettes here with us tonight. So
the Lafayettes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this would be the Lafayette Studio location. This is our satellite location.
Oh. We're here, and they're observing and listening to us, and so you hear a little bit of background noise. That's them.
Yeah, we definitely want to thank them for letting us come over here today.
And thank them for letting us use their space. We appreciate it, and listening to us.
Okay, so we have... Yeah, there is so much information. If you look up the brain... They call him the brain gremlin, which I'm trying to find the name real quick here of the actor. I can't seem to find out. I might put it up on... I'll put it up in the video. But they had scenes which were... He's like... Hilarious. There's one thing I'll never forget. He's doing an interview with Grandpa.
Yep.
And he is sitting there. It's like a... I can't remember the old... the guy did before Jay Leno. You guys might remember his name better than I do. Not Dick Clark. Oh, that was radio.
What was the name of the show like that? I can't. It doesn't matter.
Well, it's he's doing an old-fashioned type, an old-fashioned like interview. He's on the casting couch talking to Grandpa, and he has these gold-rimmed glasses and everything. And so, like, we were just like anybody else, we're just looking for, have fun and, make something in this new economy and everything. And there's this stupid little, like, goofy gremlin behind him. It has a little spin top hat, and he keeps on bugging the brain gremlin. And it gets to the point where he actually just, like, pulls out a gun, shoots him.
Okay. Johnny Carson?
Johnny Carson. Okay, so it's like a Johnny Carson type interview. You guys can talk,
Yeah. You're loud.
It's like they're doing the interview. So like this gremlin, gets shot. He falls off the back of the couch. The gun starts smoking here, and he goes like, "Oh, I'm sorry, that was completely uncivilized." And it just goes on with the interview. And they actually, eventually start doing like a musical number. And you got Grandpa sitting in a trash can narrating this.
Yep.
And it also gives the introduction of the, we all think it's Yoda when he was younger and he needed money. It was they didn't really say if it was a cross-dressing gremlin or actually was a woman gremlin, which would be the first one, really.
Oh, the one with the lipstick?
He had the lipstick and the actual green hair.
She was a girl.
Yeah, so it was the first official female gremlin. Now, Stripe did have a girl-looking gremlin next to him in the recreation of the poker scene, but that was definitely a cross-dresser.
Yeah, that was it. They love to wear costumes. I mean, they'd be fun to hang out with if they weren't trying to kill you.
Yeah,
they're evil, laughing.
Always wearing sunglasses. I remember the movie scene, the first movie. Like one had like the popcorn bags on its ears, and
they're laughing,
constantly laughing and stuff.
While I think about it, the first movie, one of my favorite scenes is when Gizmo crashes through the wall in the Barbie Corvette.
Yes,
I thought that was great.
I don't know. Okay, am I the only one who does not remember a motorized Barbie car?
Well, yeah, you're a boy.
But he drove it without any type of remote. He's using the actual wheel.
They had stuff. You could pull back and it would go, and I'm sure they had a motorized one. They had all kinds of stuff. There was a ship and a swimming pool and an airplane. Oh, anyway. That's a different show.
Here I thought I'd be going off on that tangent today. Yeah, and Gizmo in this was absolutely hilarious. Like, they really took his animations to the next level. They have little dances. And I still remember at the end of the movie, this entire time he's in a, this advanced building that has news studios and television studios in it. So they're taking him home, and he's like, HBO? Cinemax? HBO? And you're like, he wants to have cable. And it's like...
He's so cute.
It's adorable. Like,
he is.
Like, I have a little Gizmo that we have sitting on top of our movie case next to our frog. And, I love the little thing so much. I even found out today that there is one that actually does the little song that he sings.
I want to look at it.
Which is absolutely adorable. And... you can't beat these movies. Now, they are talking about making a third movie.
They've been talking about that since the 90s.
Yeah, and, whoever is in charge of this at Warner Brothers Studios, get on this quickly, please. I will personally come out and star in your movie. If you need somebody for jokes or something, or somebody gets shot by a gremlin, I volunteer myself as tribute to be shot by a gremlin.
Alright, guys. If you like that stuffed gremlin, you like them... That singing one.
Is that a stuffed gremlin? He is a Mogwai. Gizmo's a Mogwai.
Well, it says they call him a deluxe stuffed animal dancing Gizmo. Nice. He's $24.95. You can get him right. You can either buy him online from Toys R Us, and you can pick him up in the store. And he will sing to you.
Okay, so it's Christmas season. Good luck into Toys R Us to try to find a Gizmo. Highly suggest that you make the mailman deliver to you via the intranets.
They accept PayPal.
And so do we. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So as we are coming to a close here today, I do want to mention that yesterday we did do our second session for Doctor Who, where we had Brandy Stutler and also Tim Muzakage Goodwin being the Doctor and Clara. And that is going to be coming up on our website, facebook.com/OurOuterHaven. or also our webpage, which is ourouterhaven.com. And that should be up next Saturday. Also, next Saturday, we are going to be putting up a special Star Wars video that I did with a special guest, Nick Zupko. And we have a very elongated review of the Star Wars series. And also, the Doctor does a special insert on his thoughts on the Star Wars trilogies and the new movie coming up. So definitely want to keep an eye out for that, guys. Now, we do have a special announcement to make here today about a new type of video that we're going to be doing soon.
Yes.
And I'm going to let Eliza take off with this here for us.
So we've decided we're going to delve into a little bit of legend and lore, but local to us. So we are doing some research right now.
Absolutely.
So we are going to look up information on Crystal Lake, which is local. As everybody knows, we're in Ohio.
Yes.
So we're going to be looking up stories close to us, and then we'll expand out. But if anybody in the local area, Kent Ravenna area for right now, even Streetsboro, somewhere in that Portage County, Jaga, that kind of area, has local lore. Even Jaga Lake lore. I know there's supposedly was a monster. You have anything?
And we're not talking about your Aunt Myrtle when she went down the wrong slide and scared a whole bunch of kids.
No. If you have anything, you're welcome to message us, leave a comment below, let us know. We're definitely gonna look up things. We're not just gonna run with something, but we're gonna do some interviews, we're gonna do some research, and we're gonna put some facts out there. Because that seems to be what people like. I know I'm always interested. I got to thinking about this the other day. I watched a program about the Montauk Monster. And I thought, ooh, I got to know more about Camp Hero. Stuff like that I think is interesting. So I figured if we like that kind of stuff and it sparks something in you, maybe you guys would like that, and we'll build on it and we'll keep going from there.
Yes, absolutely. So, anything fringe sciencey. You know, it can be creatures. It could be anything from Bigfoot to the local, Loch Ness. It could be a flying creature that you think you saw some night. Let us know. Give us a comment. Give us a message. We want to know more about it. And we will be putting this up. We're not quite sure when we're going to start putting the series up, but we are doing the research and the filming right now. So definitely let us know. And for today, I am Big Kahuna.
Eliza Austin.
And you're listening to the Outer Haven Report, and we will see you out there. And this is a production of Outer Haven Media, where you have a voice.
See ya.
Bye-bye. Good stuff, huh?
So, Christmas carolers. I hate Christmas carolers. Screechy voice, little blue sniffers. I warned you, Brad!